now you get a donor who's willing to buy you. But we have the number. It's currently five, number five in the country. But he's the number one.
Is he here again? Oh, I know Ralph well. Yeah, very good to have him back.
He's the greatest kid ever.
What a rebel. That guy.
Oh, hey. Sorry.
This guy right here.
No.
Sitting right
No.
Not only is he a Cowboys fan, but he went to ASU. So you're going to be speaking. He's going to be next.
I get to speak today too, though.
If you want me to have him move,
I get to speak
I'll
today
have
too.
him move.
What would you like me to make my check out to today?
Curtis or Cash, whichever one you want.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
You want some discretionary funds or
Sure, I like discretionary funds.
what should I write on here then?
You don't get it. It's not tax deductible. Well, I guess
I don't
discretionary
deduct this crap anyways.
Best would be to go to the club operation.
Okay. What do you want me to do? How do I make that?
Put Rotary Club of Tucson.
All right. Give me a pen.
Would you like to borrow my pen, sir?
No. Okay.
How goes it?
There you go.
Hanging in there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No?
Brother-in-law's tumor shrunk a little bit. So
That's fantastic news.
yeah, it was really good. It was just yesterday. So that's really good.
Didn't expect to hear that.
I know. No, it's good. I mean, they didn't either.
Good kid, maybe didn't have that reputation back then.
So I mean, yes, and partly it was just the kid is just so much. And I'm like, he didn't want to go to USC. I made one. I've never made this concession to recruit. The hunting. And I said, look, you got to go elk hunting for 1 week.
Welcome, everybody. We've got some time. Get your lunch. We'll get started in about 10 minutes and enjoy the fellowship.
I have a 10 spot.
Mom's from Japan.
I have a 20.
His dad's from New Zealand.
All right, let's go.
Grew up in
Let's do this.
We haven't won in
A
literally
very long time. I need to talk to Chris Dodge, too.
His dad was back in New Zealand. His mom remarried in the Netherlands. He was in Tucson in Australia and the Netherlands. He's never had a home. Then he finally gets to Arizona. Finally has a home. He's 15 in the country. It's actually
You can tell some stories about these kids because I'm like, we have a great program. All the kids.
yeah, I just figured, I didn't know how long it was. So I do a few things that pop up. I'll read something about it, I'll just tell some stories. Everyone likes a story.
Everybody like any of your brothers going to coaching?
So my other brother, he was the head coach at Fresno State.
Your brother that you went to school with, I bet.
Yeah. And then he was associate head coach at Oklahoma, and then now he's the head coach at Boise State.
So you ever do you want to play Boise State?
We played, the NCAA hates us, we played in the last 2 years first round of the NCAA tournament. So, you know, the first year they lost an hour and 30 minutes, last year was an hour and 28. Supposed to go around 2 minutes. No, but you know, we got it very good. But it's always nice. It's always fun to play. Well, he's 2 years old. And he's probably beaten him everything like so now I'm getting him back.
Your dad still around or did he?
They moved back up to Boise last year.
So they get to come and see them.
Yep. Well, yeah, my mom, she's a nurse. You know, we grew up in a small town in Iowa and nursing. But my dad was kind of a sports guy. He knew nothing about tennis. That's never great when you're your coach. A football guy being a tennis player.
And you met Bob at the university, or he reached out to you and you did?
We reached out. I was actually supposed to do this last February. And then we hired
I
Rick.
know.
And I was like, we kind of got caught in the season, so I was happy with the outcome. Go ahead. Because we went first year qualifying and we took the top 16 teams. And we all got from the road by. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
All right, Curtis.
Oh!
There's our winning tickets.
You got to keep all of them.
Oh.
The president can't win in front of people, right?
You're right.
Wow. What's up? Yeah, you gotta get your I guess Ray's gonna speak him. Lucky enough, so I'm at Nami or be here tomorrow. Everybody loves him. The tennis isn't the same block. That's a nice lane.
Tennis should be very good. But we should have some kind of something like there's a million people in Tucson. It's a golf team. But we haven't had a tournament. We just haven't had it like, we go, all right, this is something that we're coach, and now we have to break it here and we've done that each year. But, you know, I think this is the thing, is you get this scary part of this college athletics thing, and we're going to be cutting college sports because of it. Like, what we end up doing when we cut just because we cut opportunities for those teams, what am I looking for? And it's like,
Hey, Lee.
you know, I really look at this thing like, you know, I got my degree in
Good. It's good. You feel special? Sure. You look special.
I have nothing planned for St. Louis, so
Have you done any drafts yet?
I have one tomorrow and one Friday. That's it. You?
It's not even scheduled yet. I'm waiting to get the announcement when it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, have I prepped for any of them? No, not at all. I'm gonna do that tonight. I already told Laura. I'm like, hey, put the girls to bed, and I'm locking myself in the office and doing some research.
I do auto draft.
You really?
Yep.
You have kids?
No, my wife
I already told him I'm going to find it if he goes over. And he said it's not my script, so you're going to have to find Charlotte because she wrote it.
So we,
Would you make sure anyone who's got speaking time that we tell them where they're going to be at? Because we have 2 Happy Jacksons, right? On the floor. And then the rest is, well, Gary's already up here. And John Wong. Will you let John Wong know that he is he's Paul Harris
Okay, so is that on the floor or up here?
up here. So he's going to be right after Eric is introduced. Eric Lamb.
Okay, and it's on the schedule already though? John Wong?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I'll let you know.
How long have you been at Tucson?
this is my 9th season.
9th season.
Yeah. I played my first tournament, national tournament in Tucson, and at the Tucson Country School.
Very cool.
So
And from Northwest?
I was born in Prescott.
How are you? I know, but if you don't take my hand, I can't find you.
Thanks for coming out. Yeah. We'll see. You never know. You get up there and fly off the wall. I had all summer. He got married this summer. I slipped it into the best man speech. She did.
Born in Prescott?
Born in Prescott and lived in for 4 years. Then moved to Grand Junction, Colorado. Small town. Okay. Once we got good enough at tennis, then we just kind of traveled and lived wherever and did tournaments. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I heard you mention Boise.
I ended up
From Washington.
What part of Washington?
A little town called Aberdeen.
Aberdeen. Okay.
You know what's that?
Yeah, I know that. My wife's from Lake Taps.
Okay.
But my best player's from Tenino.
Yep.
If anyone, it's a Tracy's.
Yep. Yep.
You know, he goes to Aberdeen all the time. He was just fishing there. Yeah. And what is it? What's the band?
Nirvana.
Kurt Cobain. He's from Aberdeen, huh?
Nirvana. Yep. Yep. Correct.
Yeah, Washington is an interesting state. It kind of has a little bit of everything. We went to last week. We went for a week in the Whidbey Island. Went clam. Every day we're trying to get crabs and clams, and you live that lifestyle. You're like, this is different. And then you go into Seattle, it's one way. Or Lake Taps, she's from living on the lake.
Or then you go to Eastern Washington and
It's totally different.
it's high desert, right?
Yeah.
Completely different. Yeah.
And they had a place in Desert Air. It's like this on the other side of the mountains, like right on the Columbia River. It was Washington's a cool state.
I like the fact that I don't have to take vitamins and stuff.
Yeah. It really grows on you. And honestly, this time of the year is really growing on me a lot with the monsoons because it cools off for the team. It's not so hot.
Yep. I mean, and you put up with 3+ months of it's going to be hot.
Yeah.
But compared to Washington, I was lucky to get 2 months of nice weather, right?
Yeah.
They just something to the rainy year.
I visited UW and it came nonstop for 48 hours. I was on campus. I'm like, yep. I'll go somewhere else.
If you were just up there, I would say mid-July to mid-September.
They had it.
Yeah. Seafair and all that.
Yep.
How did so you president?
I'm president of Rotary Club, and I work for the
Okay, great. So,
And I'm like,
forgive me. What is the Rotary?
So the Rotary And so we're all members of this Rotary Club. We pay to be members, and then we do service projects throughout the year as well. We have our weekly meetings where we have a guest comedian at different programs. And in this club, we have the Tucson Classic Car Show that you're still looking for. But it's 400 plus classic cars over the great school. And we raise enough money to give out about 4 years.
Nice to meet you. We're happy that you're here. You want me to take, is that what it is? You want me to take the
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. But I appreciate the offer. It's very thoughtful. Jonathan Rothschild's here again today.
Yes.
And
That's from outside Boston.
Yes.
He grew up in St. Louis.
We're from Rockland. And I watched him play.
Right.
I love how he bring the kids. Because it's such a great, I mean, there's some Yes. Yeah, we combined 2 classes. Yes. Yeah. I'm happy to be able to
And tell Nancy how to do it.
just waiting.
Oh, I will.
People chatting. That's nice. That's for certain members. Welcome. Welcome. Here we go. Welcome to the August 28th meeting of the Rotary Club of Tucson. It is time for our pledge and song, and I know Eric Lamb is ready, right? He joined our club April 18th this year. He's in real estate commercial, vast commercial real estate solutions, and he went to the University of Arizona. Eric. Thank you, Eric. You may be seated. Now it's time for our inspiration. Chris Edwards joined our club April 11th, 2007, retailing appliances, Tucson Appliance Company.
Where you are a priority.
60 seconds.
How is everybody doing today? Can you hear me? They don't have volume control on there today. That's good. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. You knew I was coming. Come on.
You're cutting into your time, man.
Can I do what do you call it?
Seconds, you're losing time.
Kindness is the light of the brightness, even the darkest corners of our world. It requires no grand gestures, only genuine intent and a heartfelt touch. In every act of kindness, no matter how small, we sow seeds of hope and connection. Remember, a simple smile, yes, I could do that, or a kind word can transform someone's day and ripple through their life in ways you may never fully see. So let kindness be your guide and watch how it transforms both you and the world around you. And that's how I roll. That's why I'm wonderful as usual. That's not why my hair is purple. Most of you know why. Are they going to come get me? No. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. How does he make that mic so loud? I'm sure it's the mic and not him. Now it's the introduction of guests and visiting Rotarians. Chris Dodge joined our club February 13th, 2020. Entertainment, music. Is it Chris Dodge Entertainment?
Tucson Jazz Festival.
Tucson Jazz Festival. And he went University of Arizona. Chris?
So for the record, I'm trying out for the tennis team. I'm ready to go. You're gonna wish you never met me. But the rest of you all, we're glad that we are meeting you, and we got two guests with us here today. So when I announce your name, please stand up so we can say hello to you. So guest of Marcy Euler, I think you're sitting right over there. Say hello to Janice Gallego. Hi, Janice. I haven't seen, I'll find you. And guest of Drew Vactor, say hello to Trisha Owen. Hi, Trisha. That's all I got for you. Well, take it away.
You've got some years of eligibility left, right? 2 years? Okay. So, you know, I can get you his number if you need it. To start, I think last week, and I think it was in the newsletter that went out, we asked everybody to wear white. So if you're wearing white today, could you please stand? Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll take the blame for that, Coach. We really wanted to have a whiteout for you, but not everybody follows directions, especially Cliff Bowman and Stu and Bill and so many. Oh, look at that! Nice! Well done. Now I'm going to welcome up Pat Zumbush, joined our club. Wow, this club is, we're going today, aren't we? I might have to get out the big gavel. Joined our club November 5th, 2003. Financial advisor, Wellspring Financial Partners, Augsburg College, and University of Chicago. Pat.
Thank you. Thank you, President Curtis. Dear Rotarians, it is my pleasure today to introduce you to Clancy Shields, the University of Arizona men's tennis coach. Mr. Shields has just come off a remarkable season, and we are honored to have him here. Widely recognized as one of the youngest and most dynamic coaches in college tennis, Mr. Shields has led the Wildcats back into the national spotlight with 4 consecutive NCAA appearances since 2019. The 24 campaign was perhaps the most impressive in program history, as Arizona won the Pac-12 tournament championship and the Pac-12 regular season championship. Clancy led the Wildcats to the squad's best ever Intercollegiate Tennis Association ranking during the 2024 season, checking in as high as number 5. Because of these accomplishments, Clancy was recognized as both the Pac-12 ITA Southwest Region Coach of the Year for his efforts. He is an Arizona boy. He's a Prescott from up the road. I'm glad to have him at the University of Arizona. Please help me give a warm Rotary welcome to Coach Shields.
Good afternoon. Well, first off, I just want to thank you all for allowing me to come to my first Rotary event. It's a real honor to be here. I also haven't made a PowerPoint since college, so bear with me. This could get a little ugly. But just first off, just want to say thank you for having me out. It's been one of the greatest honors of my life to coach here. I'm very proud of the work we've done here at the University of Arizona. And, you know, typical fashion as a coach, I'm just going to come up and tell some stories. And kind of they asked me, what is the title of your presentation? And I can only go back and just talk about what our motto is in our program. And our motto here is culture wins. And I'd like to share a little bit about that. All right. PowerPoint, here we go. So I'll just take it back 9 years ago when they hired me here at Arizona. And Greg Byrne called me up and brought me to campus. And Arizona hadn't won a conference match in 5 years. It was kind of the bottom dweller in the country. And I was really, do I really want to take this job and this task over? And I ended up meeting Greg Byrne. And what really sealed the deal for me was he was taking me from McHale Arena to the football stadium. And throughout the whole walk that we went there, he was picking up trash. And I said, you know what? If this is our leader here, this is the person I want to work for. And that kind of sealed the deal for me to want to come to the University of Arizona. it took me a couple years later, talking about culture, it took me a couple years later to understand how important this place is to so many people in Tucson. And I have a very unique office in McHale. I'm probably one of the only coaches that has a window. And it was one summer day, and I'm looking out the window, and a family of about 10 people show up outside my window, and they start pouring something out on the rocks next to McHale. And after a few minutes, I realized they were pouring their father's ashes out at McHale. And I was watching the whole thing. They couldn't see me through the window. I watched the whole thing happen, and I ended up walking out and meeting them, and they kind of told me how much this place means to them. And I think as a coach, then you start saying, man, this place means a lot to a whole lot of people. And it really, for me, it comes back to when we tell these kids about this place and they come on campus, you know, these are the type of stories about why Arizona's special, the pride that we have in the University of Arizona, and when these kids put the jersey on, why they play so hard. Okay, well, he said a few things, positive things about me, but I always like to kind of trash me a little bit. In my first 2 years in the Pac-12, my record was 0-17. I'm glad I wasn't a football coach, or I would have been fired with a nice payout maybe. But I will say this, some things take a little bit of time. And I'm really proud of that. This was where we started. In the last couple of years, we've won the regular season in the Pac-12 3 years in a row, and we won the conference tournament this past year. So whenever you're taking over a really bad program, you should probably look for a blueprint for success. And I think we have one of the greatest coaches of all time at the University of Arizona in Lute Olson. And so one of the first things I did was read about Lute and his 1983 team and what that year looked like to the kids on that team. And one thing that I came away from all the articles that I read was Lute talking about physical fitness is the greatest team builder. And I'm in that. When I'd hear the stories about Steve Kerr and all those guys coming together as a family, this was kind of something that we wanted to put together in our program. And it was funny, my first year, we didn't win a lot, but the guys were fit. They came together as a group. And I even had a player say, hey, coach, I didn't sign up to be on the cross-country team. So we laid the foundation in year one. The second part is commitment. And I think we ask a lot of these student athletes, and it is a tremendous sacrifice of what they do. And I would love for any of you to come spend a day with these guys. It goes nonstop, 12 hours a day, what we put them through. And I think the commitment that we ask for in the beginning is so important. And we do a little exercise in our program at the beginning of the year. We kind of talk about the commitment that we're expecting. And I have the guys, I say, look, I want you to come by my office, and I want you to look me in the eye and tell me you're all in. And when you come into my office, you knock on the door and you see me, hey, coach, I just want to tell you I'm all in. That is your commitment to us for the course of the season. And I will promise you over that 200 days of the season, they're going to have their bad days. And they're going to have their times where maybe their commitment is wavering. And it's always so important that we come back to that proclamation in the office of, hey, remember when you told me you're all in? Remember when you made that commitment to me, and I made that commitment to you. And you know what? Maybe you're having a bad day, but this is something that's so important in successful teams, and I see it in some of our teams around campus is having that all-in commitment. Okay, my favorite one, playing for something bigger than yourself. Tennis is such an individual sport, and I think a lot of kids get into it because they like that aspect of tennis. But when you play college tennis, it is so much of a team sport, and our kind of motto in our program is to play for the seniors. And you kind of start looking at it as I'm a freshman, I'm a junior, or a sophomore, junior, and then you get to your senior year and everyone's playing for you. And you've experienced that for 3 years of what it's like to play for the seniors. And I just like to tell a story about this incredible human being I met in this process named Alejandro from Barcelona, Spain. And this guy changed my life in coaching. And it was so funny. His senior year was during COVID. And we were somewhere in March, and we knew COVID was coming down. And I was having a phone call with Dave Hickey and everybody, and they said all college sports is canceled, and it's over. And all the guys were in Whole Foods in Malibu. We were playing Pepperdine. And I remember walking in. I said, how am I going to tell these guys? How am I going to tell Alejandro that this season is over? And how am I going to say the words and find the words that his college career is over? Luckily, they granted him another season. But what I later found out is that we didn't have the scholarship to bring him back. And the guys loved Alejandro so much. I said, hey, guys, we need to find about $30,000 of scholarship. Any of you guys be willing to help me out? Every single one of the guys on the team, coach, whatever scholarship we need, we'll find it. We got to bring Alejandro back. And we ended up finding the money. The guys were playing for Alejandro. And this was kind of our first season that we had success within our program. We ended up going to the NCAA tournament. We ended up going to the Kentucky Regional, and we played preseason Michigan first round. Nobody had us winning. The guys were going to win for Alejandro. We ended up beating Michigan 4-2, and then we played the SEC champions Kentucky on the road, and they didn't believe in COVID. There were 400 fans there, but they were undefeated at home, 16-0, and I'll always remember this as a coach. The locker room, an hour before we played that team, and it was dead silent. And the kids are starting to visualize, and they're starting to visualize their success happening, and it was really something that nobody thought we could do. But I'll say, when you're thinking of playing for something bigger than yourself, the guys will find a way. They'll dig deep. They'll find some extra gear within them. And on that day we did, and we ended up beating Kentucky, going to the Sweet 16. And that was kind of the defining moment for us to turn our season around. And it really came down to these guys digging deep for that player on their team. And I talked to all the coaches, whether it was Tommy, Jed, sorry, he's a buddy of mine. But, we all talk about how can we inspire these guys to play a little bit tougher, dig a little bit deeper. And Alejandro was kind of the guy that helped us find that extra gear. Recruiting. It's the lifeblood of your program. We've been able to have multiple top 5, top 10 recruiting classes, and we don't have everything to offer here at Arizona. And I think we've really dialed in on what we really do have to offer. But I'll tell one story of the player that turned our program around. His name was Jonas Ziverts. He was one of the top players in the world from Stockholm, Sweden. And we needed to find that marquee player to turn our program around. And so I said, you know what, I'm going all in. I'm not going to even try to recruit any other player. This is our guy. I'm just going to give everything I have. So we ended up talking, and I ended up flying to Stockholm about 30 hours. And I got there, and I went to see him. And I'll always remember this. I looked over, I was walking over to him, and I thought he would come over, give me a handshake. Hey, so glad that you made the trip over here. He did this. He gave me a head nod. And I was like, no way, this is happening. And so over the next 2 days, I just did everything I could to kind of get in with his family and in with him. And he still didn't want to come visit Arizona. So we flew back again to Stockholm to see him again, to try to get him to come out here. He finally ended up deciding to fly out to Arizona. He loved it, but still didn't want to commit. And I remember it was an October morning, a big time zone change. And I told my wife, I said, I'm not going to get off the phone until he commits. And I ended up just telling him that. I said, Jonas, I'm not going to get off the phone until you commit to Arizona. And it was literally a 10-second pause. And I thought the phone call got broken up. And then he said something, I'm not going to repeat it. He said, F it, coach, I'm in. And I was honestly, ever since that happened, we've been able to land other recruits. We've been able to bring some of the best players in the world to Arizona. And it all started with this one kid. And I think the thing with recruiting is never give up. If you know that this is the kid that you want, give it your all, keep going. And I'm so happy that we did. Yes. Okay. Great teams are led from the middle, not the top. I think I have a few more minutes. Okay. Connor Olson, this is a great story. This kid had no business being at Arizona. He's a small town kid from Minnesota, and he's that type of kid that would email me every week. Coach, I want to come to Arizona. My dad went to Arizona. My cousins play on the hockey team here, but his ranking was so low, we just couldn't take a risk on him. He ends up just showing up at my office. Hey, Coach, I'm Connor Olson. I'm the guy that's been emailing you every week. And I was like, all right. And so I ended up just taking a chance on bringing him here. And that persistence was one of the reasons why our team, we had an incredible leadership. And he's the type of guy who changed our program within the locker room. And he's the type of guy that I remember yelling at the guys that, hey, guys, you got to be more intense at practice. You got to move your feet. And he just did it at 150% that he fell over and broke his hand. I've never said it was unbelievable. I still remember it. And we ended up playing Grand Canyon the next week. And he's like, Coach, am I in? And I was like, well, you have a broken hand. He's like, it's just my left arm.
I can play with one arm. And I just remember the guys in the locker room, once they heard that and they start seeing that their leader's going to give up everything to do that, it all changed in our locker room. And I'm so happy that he came here. He only ever played in a few matches in his time at Arizona, but I can promise you he lost his voice every match that we played. And if you've ever been to a U of A match while he was here, you would know the guy because he was the guy losing his lungs. So very special and just an absolute unbelievable Wildcat. Grit. Okay. Just hit the bell if I'm going over. Grit. This is something that's everybody talks about in sports. I'll tell just two awesome stories about grit. One is this kid's Gustav Strom, and it was his freshman year. He was the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, but during the season, he comes in before a match, and he tells me, "Hey, Coach, I have blood in my stool." He didn't say it that way, but he showed me a picture. No, thank you. And so he's very worried, and we ended up getting him in to see someone. And so in preceding weeks, he ended up getting a colonoscopy, which if anyone's done that in here, they know you can't eat for like 24, 48 hours. Then they do this stuff to you, and then you have to play on the weekend. And so in 3 weeks in a row, he ended up getting a colonoscopy, an endoscopy, and a colonoscopy. So he basically would do this, wouldn't eat for like 48 hours, get the procedure done, try to eat real quick, dominate the weekend playing tennis, and he did this 3 weeks in a row. And I think there's something about grit and it's just determination. And these are the stories that not many people know about, but they'll change your locker room. Whereas when somebody has a sore shoulder, you can talk to them about Gustav Strom. Another thing, last year, it was our first time to the NCAA tournament, National Indoors in New York. And I was telling Pat here earlier, we all got norovirus. Nobody knew it. It was one of our best tournaments we've ever had. We beat number 2 Texas. We beat number 10 Texas A&M. But no one knew that our whole team was throwing up the whole time. And I remember our last match in it, the whole team was sick, and they came up to me, we're sick. And I just said, "Hey, guys, we just need 6 guys to show up and go play." And nobody thought we could win that day, but the 6 guys, I said, "Hey, we need 6 guys." All 10 guys put their hand up. They all wanted to play. And I think that's the thing about grit. And you start developing that in your program. We ended up beating A&M that day, but I think as we look back 20, 30, 40 years from now, the guys will look back on those moments and say, that's pretty cool. And they'll remember that story much more than anything they probably learned somewhere else. Confidence and belief. Yeah. This is, I'll keep it quick, but this was the defining moment in our program. We played on a weekend USC and UCLA, and our record versus them was 4-150. And these teams were both top 10 in the country. And, for years I sat there and told them, hey, it's going to turn around. We're going to win a conference championship. We're going to beat these teams. And for many years, it was just me believing it. But for some reason, we had these guys, the Gustavs and the Hermans, and these guys who'd been through some toughness. And we ended up beating both those guys in a weekend. And ever since that match, we've been 8-1 against those guys over the last few years. And these are teams with 40 national championships combined. And I'll just say that sometimes it just takes that one thing to turn your program around, that one thing that's going to change it for you. And it was really that weekend. And it wouldn't have been possible unless these guys just had a lot of belief and confidence in each other and the work they put in. But, bear down is such a fun thing to talk about, because if you don't understand it, people yelling it at you and it has no meaning to you. It's, bear down, yeah. But for these guys, when you say bear down, it's like they know what it means, because it's the beating USC, UCLA. It's the having colonoscopy, endoscopy stuff. And the guys start to say that bear down has a lot of meaning to me, and it's really special. And it's like when you leave this program, that bear down is imprinted on your heart, and it's something we're all really, really proud of. Last thing I'll just kind of talk about in this program is love. It's something that we all got to get better at as a society, but I think it's something in our team that we all talk about all the time. They got, hey, I love you, coach. I love you, man. And even to this day, from all the guys that have played here, it's always finishes the conversation with, I love you. And I think when we talk about this, we all in this process have the ability to prick each other's hearts and to imprint each other on our hearts. And I think we've done that in our program. It's one of the reasons why we've had success. And I just would challenge everybody here that This is the cornerstone in our program. This photo is one of my favorite ones. It was in the Tucson Daily Star. It was just after we'd beaten Kentucky. But a picture is amazing, and you can see that love in that photo. And I'm very proud of that. But I think that's something in our program we preach, and it's who we are, and Arizona is home forever. And yes, so thank you all for coming out. You are all season ticket holders now because it's free to come to the matches. But if you would like, I have a little wristband here, Arizona Tennis, and if you come to a match, wear one of those. We'll know you're part of the family, and we'll welcome you with open arms. So thank you for having me today. Bear down.
We have a couple questions if you're ready.
Yeah.
So this is Jim Murphy.
Hi, Coach. You want to talk a little bit about tennis and your brother?
Yes. So I'm the youngest of 5 kids, and we all picked up tennis as a family. And my older brother, who's 2 years older than me, Luke, was the #1 junior in the country. He beat me all the time growing up in every sport. But he's also a college tennis coach, and we've had the opportunity to play against each other. Actually, the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament, the last 2 years that we've played in first round. But yeah, there's these type of people that take you under your wing, and they're these mentors in your life. And I was telling Pat earlier, I got my degree in education. I want to be a teacher. And then I said, heck, dude, I think I want to be a college coach because this is way more impactful. And we spent about 30 hours a week with these kids for 4 years. And, my brother's the person that made me want to be a coach, and, very special. So thank you for that.
I got another question. This is Mike.
You're quite a motivator. Thank you for what you do. That's an impressive resume that you got so far. Could you comment a little bit on what you expect for playing in the Big 12?
Yeah, well, you come to Arizona to win championships. So you better come here to win. And I think that's the thing, is everybody understands that 50% of our team is new. Our number one player is probably the top kid coming back. He's currently ranked 5 in the country. Our number 2 player is currently ranked 15 in the country. So we have some big pieces coming back. But TCU won the national championship last year. I mean, this is a really tough tennis conference. It's a really good tennis conference. But they told me that when I came into the Pac-12, that 60 of the last 75 national championships came from the Pac-12 with Stanford and USC and UCLA. And, that didn't faze us. So our expectation is to go in and to dominate.
All right. Chris.
Yay. Well, I think that this is the first tennis coach I've seen at Rotary, so let's give this guy a hand. Welcome. And I'm a tennis player myself, so I was okay. I didn't make it to U of A. I went to Pima for 2 years, but I was – there you go. So I want to know how many and how often do you recruit left-handed or ambidextrous, left and right-handed? Because I'm a lefty, and everybody hated playing me.
Yeah. Well, recruiting is one of those things where you just try to get the best players. But as of late, we've been actually able to land a lot of left-handers and guys with one-handed backhands and things that you're not normally seeing out there. But it's a huge advantage in tennis. They don't see it. You can change the spins and do a lot of different things. And so it is a huge advantage. I wish we could recruit them all. But yeah, about 1 in 10 tennis players are left-handed. So you're the lucky one.
Yeah. And he also has purple hair, which is a distinct advantage. All right, Dan has a question over here.
Thanks for coming. So what's your season? How come? Okay. Thank you. What's your season? Where do you play at? And how come you don't advertise?
Those are great questions. Well, we play in the middle of campus right next to the dance building. Our fall season is our individual part of our season where the kids are playing tournaments, and we actually, at the end of the fall, have the individual national championship. And then in the spring, we play the team season. Why we don't advertise? Well, we're not a revenue-generating sport. And we need to change that because tennis is like the 3rd biggest sport in the world. And I think it's a very global sport. It's something that we are going to invest a lot in. And it's one of the things that we've tried to change here. We actually are bringing on a group of students that are going to help market our matches. And we brought on about 5 students who want to learn how to market and do things. And so they'll make mistakes and whatever, but I think we're going to do a much better job of getting the word out. If you've been to a tennis match, it's getting to the point where there's about 500 seats, and it's hard to get a seat now. And if you keep showing up, they'll have to build us something a little nicer and a little bigger. So they promised me 150 new fans if I came out here tonight, and so maybe that'll help get us over the edge. But I really would encourage you to come out, because a lot of people have told me I've never been to a tennis match, and when I came out, it was so much fun to watch the kids, and then the impact that you can have on the match is so great. And we have some kids, I genuinely think some of the greatest kids that you'll ever meet, and I would really welcome you to come out and get to know them. Yep.
I've never been a season ticket holder. I feel prestigious now. It's exciting. Yeah. Have a book I'd like you to sign. It's a magical racket ride. It's going to go in our Make Way for Books library as we support literacy in Tucson. There's a pen right there for you. Now we're going to do some club business. So I'm going to put my...
Oh, it's jacket time, Curtis. I'm sorry, I don't have music for you for that.
It's exciting.
Working on it.
The new streak that you got winning in tennis, just like the new streak that Jonathan Rothschild has 2 weeks in a row coming to a meeting.
Yeah!
And Ralph Phillips 2 weeks in a row. He doesn't have any tennis eligibility left, but he does have some pickleball eligibility. I don't know if you guys do that or not, but I feel... Is it time for a fine? I feel like it's time...
Yes, but our fine left the building, so I found money elsewhere.
Our fine left
our
the building?
fine, yeah, it's like Elvis kind of thing, but like just to work with me here. But I have something else. Jen Hoffman, stand up. And if you catch this ball... nope, you didn't catch it. So you have to pay double for the Happy Jackson now. So it's now $40 Happy Jackson for Jen. Here you go.
I just want to say next week we have an awesome meeting thanks to Diana Medeiros. It's about work service projects. Anyways, our biggest service project is coming up. Do you guys know what that is?
Try why.
So we're going to have a car show table, and do you know what's so awesome? The lovely Marcy Euler is going to be here with her laptop, and she can help you guys sign up for the volunteer position. So you guys don't have to think all by yourself next week. Marcy will hold your hand. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think it's time for a birthday. Jim Wood, James. Jimothy? We'll go with Jimmy. Jimmy? His birthday was August 15th. He joined our club June 23rd, 2016. He's in finance, a financial advisor. With Merrill Lynch, he went to Arizona State University. Something you may not know about Jim. Jim is a huge sports fan. He's even a Cowboys fan, sorry. In fact, his goal as he attended ASU was to try to get a job in sports media. With that focus, he worked for almost 2 years doing 3 to 5 minute weekly sports minute spots on the campus radio station, The Blaze. Jim, it's all yours. Bear down.
You guys are going to think that I strategically decided to celebrate my birthday today when we had a U of A coach speaking. I'm not that forward thinking. So here's the first nice words you'll ever hear me say about U of A. You're doing a fantastic job, Clancy. And congratulations. Seriously, that's pretty cool. And I even looked up while he was speaking to see if I could maybe gloat and say, oh, ASU still won a few years in a row. No, we haven't. At least the last 4 years I saw they pretty much dominated ASU. So, yeah, good job. Thanks. I've got a check for Curtis for our club. That's for you. I don't have a whole lot much else to say other than go Devils. And it's a new football season, so I'm holding out hope that we're going to do better than the last few years. So it's a pleasure being a part of this club. I've got a long legacy of family and friends in here, and continue making new ones. And love all of you. Thank you.
We love you too, Jim. We also have Jeannie Zita. August 23rd was her birthday. Yep, that was last week. Joined our club February 7th, 2019. Retired, community education. As busy as you are, you're clearly not retired. Just a new career, yeah. Southwest State University and St. Cloud State University, both in Minnesota. And something you may not know about Jeannie. Jeannie joined Rotary in 2006 after she visited the Eden Prairie AM Rotary Club to give a short update on an adult literacy program run by her department. When they asked her if she was a guest or a prospective member, she asked what the difference was. And that's how it began. Prospective members came to 4 weekly breakfast meetings, and if it seemed like a good match, she could apply, and the board may approve her to be a member. Her boss, the superintendent, was all for it, and her joining, she says, is that she is so glad that she did. And I gotta say, I'm so glad that you came to Tucson and we got you.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to share with you, I'm delighted to be a Rotarian. And in 2006, when I joined, when I just went to meetings and started, there were a lot of men in that club. But I could just ask, so when did you join Rotary? What do you like most about it? And everything I was hearing, and also from my boss, the superintendent, she was very supportive of it. So I did join. And Curtis had asked us to share, when did we feel like we became a Rotarian? And in that club, there were so many service projects that we could do that even with a full-time job, I was trying to do things like being a Rotary reader that would go to an elementary school over lunch hour and read with or listen to kids read. Being a mentor in the Strive program, which was a high school program for kids that were needing another adult positive in their lives to positively help them graduate. I delivered Meals on Wheels. I helped organize the Vino Classico fundraiser, and I just really felt like I became a Rotarian during all of that. But when I really knew I was a Rotarian, when my husband said, I have a job offer from Raytheon, and it's in Tucson. Are you in? You are retired. You're very involved with Rotary, and you're very involved with the Community Foundation in Eden Prairie, but would you be game to go to Tucson? And I said, well, if I can find a good Rotary club, I'll be fine. And our realtor through Curtis was Melody Mesh, Bill's wife, and he was my sponsor in this club. She sent me a picture over Memorial Weekend of them on a hiking expedition to the top of Mount Lemmon with other Rotarians, and she said, I think you'd really like this Rotary club if you moved here. And I don't regret for a minute coming to Tucson, and joining this club has been a highlight for me, and there's lots of ways I feel like I am a Rotarian. And thank you for being part of my life.
I want to be like Jeannie when I retire. It's a couple years off. Just a couple. I feel like there's another fine, but I don't know if our fine has left the building again.
Our fine is in the building.
Is in the building.
And I'm going to put on my tennis gear for this.
Sweet.
All right. Because
and real quick, just so that we know, just in case there's any misunderstandings.
Yeah. 2 years of eligibility left.
2 years of eligibility. And
Still.
Also, when it comes to fines, we don't surprise people who get a fine, right?
No.
We talk to them ahead of time, and they agree to it. And actually, if they tell us no, we fine them double. No, if they tell us no, we won't do it. So if there's any misunderstanding, it's all for a good cause, and we just like recognizing our members.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, that is true. And I'm wearing this because I got a theme here, right? So this person who's going to be fined, not only has he played the game and he's won all the sets, but he's about ready to finish the match. All right? There you go. There's your tennis.
That's good.
Thing. That was good. All right. So stand up, David Levitt. Now give a drum roll on your tables. Celebrating his second and final year as president of Make Way for Books. Catch the balls. Come on, you can do it. Oh, yeah! David Levitt. $50 for that.
I saw it.
All right.
I assume that's what it is.
You got something?
So originally, I was asked to be fined for being a fine fellow, and so I thought that was kind of silly because everyone knows I'm a fine fellow, and that's not that important. But what is important is being the president of the board of directors of Make Way for Books. So I just want, for $50, I wanted to take the opportunity to read my little elevator speech, and since our president hasn't mentioned me being president of Make Way for Books lately, so I just want to make sure that everyone still...
It was said 100 times last year. I figured everybody knew, but I can mention it if you want.
Maybe. Anyway, so I just want to say that Make Way for Books believes that literacy is the ultimate life skill. We empower parents and educators in underserved communities of children ages 0 to 5 with tools they need to nurture each child's development, learning, and love of reading. Because helping young children build strong literacy skills is a powerful, proven way to transform their futures. Ages 0 to 5 are the most critical ages for brain development to be ready to read starting first grade. So thank you all. And I love everybody here, and especially President Curtis.
Ooh, that was close.
Oh, that was close.
You are a fellow that's going to be fined. I don't know, that's David Lovett. He's president of Make Way for Books, the board, and we appreciate all he does for Make Way for Books and for us. And he's also a pretty impressive photographer, if you didn't know that. True story. I'm serious every once in a while. More club business. We have an introduction of a new member. Gary Franks is going to come up. Gary joined our club June 28th, 2018. Real estate, mortgage lending, Altitude Home Loans, and he went to, not that school, but University of Arizona. Gary.
All right. Well, it's my pleasure to introduce a very good friend of mine. I've known Eric Lamb for 28 years. Almost upon our first meeting as youngsters, we became good friends. Youngsters being about, 25. So a few notes about Eric. He was born and raised in Southern California, moved here in 1990 to go to the U of A, where he graduated with a bachelor's degree in finance, and he met his wife here. They've been married for 28 years. He and Camille moved to Los Angeles after graduation, but came back in 1996. They have 2 children, Max, who is a sophomore at Pima Community College, Emiliana, who's a senior at Catfoot High School. Interesting fact, as a family, they've been blessed to live next door to Camille's parents for the last 20 years in the house where Camille's grandparents lived while Camille was growing up. So, pretty cool. Right in central Tucson. Eric has worked in commercial real estate his entire career, first as an appraiser in Los Angeles, then as an SBA lender, mortgage broker, bank loan officer, and currently he's the real estate broker asset manager here in Tucson for Vast Commercial Real Estate Solutions. He manages an 11-property office and medical office portfolio, as well as being the business manager for Vast. He's also maintained an active volunteer life over the last 25 plus years. First as a big brother at Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Tucson for 2 little brothers. Then as a treasurer and president of the Big Brother Big Sister board. And then when his kids were old enough, Eric served as a treasurer and president of the Tucson Waldorf School. Something folks don't know about Eric is that early in his career, he was a consultant for the Nature Conservancy for the acquisition of thousands of acres of land in Southern California from Chevron and Union Oil. And that was used to help create a permanent wildlife corridor that extends from San Diego to Ventura. So everybody, please help me welcome Eric Lamb.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Gary. I actually joined Rotary because Gary is one of my favorite people in the entire world, and this gave me an opportunity to hang out with him more. The bonus that I got was I've gotten to reacquaint with several people that are Rotary members that I've lost touch with over the years. And then I've also met a lot of new friends here, which I very much appreciate. And if we have not met yet, I'm looking forward to becoming your friend. Thank you.
Welcome to the club, Eric. Oh, I get so nervous when he's behind me. We have a Paul Harris presentation. John?
Yes, sir.
You ready?
I am ready.
Okay.
Timer's on. You didn't say I went to Princeton University.
It's not on here, but he went to Princeton University.
But I was a Wildcat team doctor for 44 years. First of all, I want to say that who's tall? That Charlotte Harris does all the work about these Paul Harris fellowships. And she collects all the data, puts it together, she writes the script. She couldn't be here because she's recovering at home from hip surgery, but she's doing well, and she will be back. So I want to say my gratitude to Charlotte for doing all the work, and I'm just here as a talking head. I'll try to be a talking head. Okay. Today we recognize fellow Rotarian who supports the International Rotary member-led programs throughout the world that provide clean water to support families in need, health care, and housing, and education. Nina Trasoff. Is receiving her Paul Harris Fellow +5. 5. She was born in the Bronx, raised in a suburb of the city, and she earned her BA in Spanish at Indiana University. Before coming to Tucson, she was a professional dancer on Broadway and in Los Angeles. She also danced with Sammy Davis Jr. in Las Vegas, and she had a lengthy conversation one time with Elvis Presley where he told her about numerology. Nina came to Tucson 48 years ago for a job as a reporter and to become news anchor at KGON. She never intended to make this her home, but then she met Rod Jilg, got married, and she's been here ever since. She and Rod were happily married for 44 years until his death 3 years ago. Their 2 sons have given them 5 grandsons, Nina's pride and joy. Nina sat on our Tucson City Council and is proud of her efforts in helping set downtown revitalization in motion, as well as saving the elephants at our zoo. Her belief is that our responsibility to pay it forward is one of the reasons she joined Rotary 33 years ago, and she is the longest standing active woman member of our club. Yay! And currently serving on our club's board of directors. When reflecting on her Rotary membership, Nina responds that she loves being part of our club, saying, quote, "I'm proud to be part of a group of professionals with such a strong commitment to family, to community, and to helping those in need. Rotary International's impact on the world continues to amaze me, and I'm happy to contribute to those efforts," close quote. So in her love of family and community service, Nina's gifting a Paul Harris Fellow to her youngest grandson. Supposed to have a picture.
Come on, Dan.
She has already gifted the other 4 grandkids, making them Paul Harris Fellows. Today she honors Sterling Trasoff Jilg, who is pictured on the screen with Nina and his older brother Jacob. Sterling is Nina's son Victor, and I know Victor well. He was one of my victims. They live in the Austin area. Sterling is 9 years old. He practices jiu-jitsu and loves being creative with Legos and building blocks. His favorite subjects in school are math and art, and as an architect in the making, perhaps. He is the only one of Nina's 5 grandsons still shorter than she is. But that probably won't be for long. Please join me in congratulating Nina and Sterling. And Charlotte said that we're not allowed to, that Nina's not allowed to say anything, but I'm going to overrule that.
You can't put me near a microphone and not let me use it. It's too many years of history on that. Anyway, it's my pleasure. And, with the 5 grandsons, to be able to finally do this for Sterling. And Yeah, and he grew a head last year, so I figure in a year and a half I am going to be the midge in the family. But anyway, I love this club. Thank you, Drew, for getting me in. And what we do in this community, we have a responsibility to help and pay it forward. So I'm happy through Paul Harris to be able to do that.
Do we have a raffle?
We have a raffle.
We have a raffle. Let's raffle.
All right. So while we're doing the raffle, we have 30 seconds. It's a 30-second commercial, Chris. You're going to have it while we're doing the business.
That's not on my agenda.
It's not, but he's paying us $100 for this.
Okay.
All right. So here you go.
It's going to be Happy Jackson. Just real quick. I know that you all are concerned about why my hair is purple and why I'm doing this, but most of you know that I'm on TV commercial from time to time, and I know how to advertise. Well, I don't have to look at this all day. Okay, you guys do. And you're going to ask me about it and why I'm doing it. Well, my daughter, my son, and I are chairing the American Heart Association Heart Ball, January 25th, 2025. Save the date, here at Tucson Convention Center. And most of you are already old enough to have had heart problems. So just that we're all going to have heart problems one time. And it's very close to my heart that we get to be the amazing chairs of this heart ball, which is going to be turned purple because of my colors. And all right, real quick, actually, we're going to have a Prince tribute band.
Yay! There you go. That's the purple. All right, Coach Shields. Just a reminder, 2 years eligibility. Pull out your tickets. We're ready to go. The numbers are 445-144. I have $90 for you in my pocket. Hey, Dana Medeiros. And you want to know if you've won $1,500, and the answer is no. But I'm going to give you $90 right now. Thanks for playing. Back to you.
Thank you. Speaking of winning, did you know we recently had Olympics in Paris? Yeah. And the next one's going to be just like west of here. Is it Yuma or? No, it's going to be in L.A.
La.
So I brought Tom with me today, because he was there for the finale for the Olympics, and he's going to help me because we have, I don't know if you know this, but not all the medals were allowed to were given out at the Olympics. They ran out of time. So there's a few medals that we have to give out today. And first, for never being on his phone and always making me aware of it, the bronze medal for that goes to Mitch Pizik. Mitch?
Yeah!
Congratulations, Mitch. Yep. And we have a silver medal to give out too, and this, it was miraculous. I mean, for someone, it was the fastest change to a whiteout that I've ever seen, and the silver medal goes to Cliff Bowman.
Yeah!
And there was one gold medal that they weren't able to give out in Paris, so we're going to give it out right now. The best current car show chair that's currently of all time, Jen Hoffman.
Yeah!
Thank you, Tom, for helping me. Actually, Tom's actually like this tall. There, that's more accurate.
I'll get a picture of it and send it to you.
I think we have some announcements, and I'm going to say what I always say. They're on your table. They're emailed out. And I know from looking at all the people not dressed in white that you're not reading the emails. So I would really encourage you to start reading those emails because Dorina spends a lot of time on them, and they're very helpful. And there's probably going to be a picture of me with Tom on the next one, so it would be worth checking out. The Rotary office is going to be closed on Labor Day, which is on... Good job. Well done. It is on Monday, which is Labor Day, yeah. Events around town, second Wednesday, so that's going to be on September 11th. We already have quite a few that have volunteered to coordinate reservations, and so you can sign up for those lunches. Thank Dot Kret. I want to thank Dan Calm. I want to thank Brittany and Chris for stepping to do that. I think we have a couple more. I think Chuck, you said you're doing it again with Glenn Ewing. You probably had more people going if you didn't say Glenn was going to be there, but that's okay. Is it the truth? Yes. So if you would like to coordinate a reservation for a restaurant and we just meet as a small group, please let myself or actually just let Dorina know. That's probably a better idea so we can get that set. Next, we have Red Badge member selfies, and this is President-elect Dot Kret with our new member, Libby Lentz. There are red badges in the room. Please take some pictures. Make sure you're introducing yourself to the Red Badge members or new members. And if they're here on a Wednesday, or if you see them around town, even better, make sure you're taking your picture. I do have an apology to make, though, real quick. I just want to apologize to Peter Bayan, who's had to have lunch with me 2 days in a row. I'm sorry. Hopefully next week we don't have to do that. Okay, perfect. And then Wilbur. Wilbur has been traveling around. This first one here, Wilbur went with Bruce Jacobs. There was other supervision besides Bruce, so he was okay up at Pine Top and Lakeside, and Wilbur had a fantastic time. I'm not sure how he drove that, but I'm sure it was he made it back, so all safe. Next one, Wilbur went all the way to Alaska with Diana and Phil. He had a fantastic job. It wasn't too cold up there yet, but he was all set. Good time. Next, where is Jeff? Jeff isn't even here. Jeff's not here. Jeff Ronstadt. I forgive him. Jeff went to New Mexico, Hatch, New Mexico, with Wilbur. Wilbur had a fantastic time. If you're going on a trip and you're a little bit lonely, or you want someone to go with you that's probably not going to talk back, Wilbur is available to go if you want to go. I think Wilbur's going to Paris pretty soon. I think he's going to Australia pretty soon. So please take Wilbur with you. He loves traveling. I believe we have a Happy Jackson.
We do. Eli right here. Take it away, sir.
Thank you. Well, everybody, just wanted to take this opportunity to introduce my new book. This is from a kid that moved to the United States in 1995 with a backpack, $600, not speaking English, and now wrote his first book. This book is called, well, thank you. It's called Dream on Seydou, a memoir of a Senegalese immigrant. It goes towards my challenges when I first moved here to this country, but it goes through what giving back is all about, giving back to our community and helping the forgotten children, which is the nonprofit organization that I have. So Rotary being what we do kind of relates to what we do in this book as well. And September 1st is going to be out on Amazon, so you can pick up a proof copy. I'm holding a proof copy, that's why I'm saying proof copy. The paperback and then the ebook will be available on September 1st, and we'll have a book signing event as well, and as soon as I know the date, we'll let you know. So make sure you pick up one and leave a little note on Amazon if you can. So thank you very much.
I haven't read it, but it's got to be better than Bob Logan's. Bob hasn't even come to one of my meetings yet, so he's going to be in for it when he does actually show up. He's been traveling on the speaker's tour. I don't know, whatever. Do we have another Happy Jackson, or is that Happy Jackson not here?
That Happy Jackson is not here,
Okay.
But we would make a quick announcement. If you're whited out and you dressed for the occasion, Brittany would love to get a picture with you right after the meeting, just right over there by the screen, if you don't mind.
And don't forget your wristband, which I think with the wristband you get season tickets. Is that right, Coach?
Yeah. Season tickets with the
no
wristband.
No season tickets. So just saying. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to our virtual guests. I hope you enjoyed the meeting. Thank you all of our guests that were here today. If you're interested in learning more about our club or how to have as much fun as we have, just join and you can go in the back and we'll be able to give you information. Please donate to the scholarship cups to support U of A and Pima Community College scholarships. All right. Those cups are on the table. Happy birthday, Jim, Jeannie. Thank you both for your donations. Welcome to the club, Eric. Congratulations on your Paul Harris, Nina, and Sterling. And there is a chance he may pass you up pretty soon. I think you're right. Yeah, very soon. Next week, we're going to have a mix and mingle, and we're also going to be learning about the service projects for this next Rotary year, so I encourage you to be here. It's going to be fun. I will probably be talking less, so another great reason to come. So, Jonathan, maybe 3 in a row. That would be fantastic. And I think it's time for us to toast and adjourn. College football week 1 is this week, going against New Mexico. Hope everybody has a great Labor Day weekend. And Chris?
Don't I do the toast?
I just wanted to get a few more words in there. No, I'm good. It's all you.
You don't like people behind you, do you?
What's wrong with you?
Not purple hair people.
Nice. All right. So,
That's a toast.
yes, I got to say it, right?
Quick.
No.
Quick.
Toast to U of A winning the game this weekend, and everybody just have a wonderful, wonderful day. I love coming to these Rotary clubs, and it amazes me. And yes, Curtis, I might make it 3 times in a row. I know you didn't mention that. Here.
Nothing prepared. Nope. I should have mentioned that the best thing you've done for this club is bringing Lisa.
I meant to do it too. She wasn't here,
She's
so I
not
wouldn't
here.
even get any brownie points. So.
I would have told her. I would have told her.
Yeah, right.
She's been great.
She should.
Great to work with.
Well, I told her, I'm like, hell, you're meeting more people than I am this year. She's been to more meetings, been more active. Oh yeah, it's no.
I am tempted to take that home to my husband. I wonder if I could get them to give me a.
Oh yeah, they will. They always do. Yeah, ask them.
Don't raise those expectations.